answer them. First thing I want to get to is my sister over here, Spiritual Sister Girl, over at www.spiritualsistergirl.com. She's been doing a blog. She wrote like 3 over these past couple of days since the lunar eclipse. She's been really going in with the blogs, and she put out a blog called Spiritual Being versus Spiritual Doing that I want the family to go there and really check out. And really, the way she writes and the way that she puts things down, it really puts you in the mindset of, you know, me going through this consciousness and kind of hoping that somebody will speak to it. But she's a real one. She offers webinars, intuitive astrology courses, all types of things. So please feel free to visit my sister up at spiritualsistergirl.com. Her name is Elishiva, and she's a beast, man. She's the real deal. To help support my content, please go to patreon.com/HoodMystic, paypal.me/HoodMystic, and Cash App HoodMystic38. So let's talk about this astrology. And for the day, let's get into it. Some things I wanted to just point out. Ooh, that is not for today. Something is really wrong. Let me get this back together. Excuse me for that. This lunar eclipse, man, how has that been treating y'all? Because I know for me, I had some crazy stuff. I wanted to tell y'all my lunar eclipse story. So me and my wife, we had a weekend plan where we were just gonna we had a babysitter, and we were probably gonna go somewhere, probably catch a movie, just relax, and just really enjoy this energy. But that wasn't the case for us. Not this lunar eclipse. We was taking care of a baby, like a newborn. And it wasn't our baby. It was kind of just dropped off on our front doorstep, and we were dealing with that. And so it was weird, but you know, we made it through, got a solution and all of that. It was a situation where we were kind of worried, and we didn't know how it was going to play out, and we were good. Like, we were good, but the people in our lives are not so good. And so dealing with that energy, it kind of helped me put some things in perspective, because, you know, I seen a lot of interesting things transpire. I got a lot of weird text messages and all types of, you know, interesting things, how this energy began to manifest. So I told you. So just trying to get back into the swing of things, and producing more content, and then also evolving as far as my presentation and how I'm presenting this information, so maybe it could reach more people. It could be more understanding to other people, as opposed to just using a whole bunch of technical jargon. So with that being said, let's get into some technical jargon. I really wanted to look at, because I woke up this morning probably about 2:30, 3 o'clock. And the first thing I did was start to look at the chart, and I noticed the sun was like fanning out. And so I always like, when I look at charts and stuff, I always look for the shape or the pattern. And the most important pattern that I seen was the sun kind of fanning. And so I was like, that's interesting to kind of just look at it and kind of just meditate on it, probably for like 30 minutes. Just looking at it and not really kind of putting my mind and kind of seeing what the pattern is and what this pattern was trying to show. And I noticed that the sun in the North Node, there is only one trine in this fanning out, but the rest, they're kind of like troubling placements. We have squares, inconjunctions, and oppositions, but that one trine to Chiron. And so what is a fan? A fan is what they would call a radiant glow or radiance. And so radiance is something that is glowing. Like, what's the difference between being beautiful and radiant, like, because you could be beautiful and be mad and still be beautiful, but when you're radiant, there's like something else. You either have clear skin, or you're happy, or there's a glow in your eyes. So, you know, the energy for being radiant is an all-encompassing, more than just beauty, more than just the surface stuff. There's something deeper that's going on within you, and the thing that's going on deeper within you is coming up to the surface. So as the sun begins to radiate, as you begin to radiate, this is what it looks like. And so to the observer, to a radiant person, they'll just be like, yo, he had it easy and da 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 da. But, you know, going on within you, like a pregnant woman, they like, you know, you're glowing, you're radiant, but like she got a whole baby inside of her. So it's not like, it's more than what meets the eye. If you've been doing inner work and people are like, you know, you're radiant, you're glowing, you're healthy, but that means you've done the inner work too. What they're just seeing is the surface, but there's more playing on underneath the surface. So I just want to, so the sun is flanked by 2 squares to Uranus and Jupiter. So as we deal with this sun energy, as we deal with this Leo energy, we all thinking about our self-worth and how we can rise and how we can take over and how we can deal with our kingship. And as it's being flanked by the squares to Uranus and Jupiter, there are changes in our environment. There are also changes in how we deal with our trauma. There are also changes as we deal with our pain, but these things are necessary if we're really going to want to rise. So something to be mindful. And then we have the 2 inconjunctions to the moon and then to Saturn. And so understanding how to use your time valuably outside of just using your time for a particular system or a particular purpose, really using this time valuably to really reconnect. And then to the moon, okay. And so the misunderstanding here with the moon is that as we make these changes and we are fully aligning with our true self, we have to begin to see this thing out to the end. We have to see the long game, and we have to begin to be optimistic. And we can't see the long game if we're pessimistic. If we have negative feelings, then that means we're kind of short-sighted and we're limited to our thought, because we may think that a negative situation may last longer than what it actually will. And then if we have those pessimistic feelings, then 9 times out of 10, we're not going to do anything about it. So it's key to understand that as developing your self-worth is really developing your optimism, and that optimism will give you the solutions to begin to make changes. If we're stuck into our mire, into our physical and human materialistic negative thought patterns and habits, then they'll just continue to manifest that way. And then the sun finally is opposed Mars. And we talked about this yesterday with the solar eclipse video, but also, once again, we have to reinforce that Mars is going through a retrograde over the node. So this spiritual energy is not something that you can it's not something that's going to be like one day. It's going to be over a period of another month. So Mars in this area is going to be in this area for another month. So how you feel for this month, how you deal with your energy, your spiritual energy over this month, will really make or break your spiritual evolution for this window, for this gap. We are all experiencing transformation, and that transformation is in the realm of perception and revelation. So as things begin to be revealed to you, what will you do about it? Will you be like, well, that was an interesting experience, but I'm going to just key into my normal experience because that was just weird? Or that was an interesting experience, let me investigate more, let me understand more. And the thing about Ella Shiva, spiritual sister girl, is that you could tell that she studies and that she knows and she's put in the work more than anything. So when you deal with her, you're dealing with an educated, advanced spiritual mind. You're not dealing with a normal person. And I say that to say that it's not the fact that people are just so spiritual because, you know, they got all of these special gifts. which is true, but they actually put effort into developing those gifts. And finally, when we deal with radiant, the word that comes up is radical. And so if you look up the etymology of radical, what you get is the word root, or going to the origin, or essential qualities or characters that you are bringing forth. So, you know, today is a day to be radical, and not in the way that you may be defined, but in its etymological sense. Connect to the root, connect to your origin, connect to the things that are essential to your being as you move forward this day, because there are a lot of things that people are going to notice you for in this radiant energy that you are, if you are doing the work, mind you, if you are connecting to self, and now people are realizing it. How do you keep this thing going? Well, you just continue to connect to self. You continue to work what's been working for you, and not be caught up into the external. So this is kind of like a warning, kind of like, you know, to continue to keep doing what you're doing. If you experience a lot of trauma or a lot of negativity and you were kind of detached over the weekend, that's a good job. That's an indication that you're on the right path. So from that path, you have to continue doing the things that work, and continue displaying, becoming the beacon of light, and drawing these people into whatever you have got going on, as opposed to just constantly seeking and constantly wanting that attention and needing it. You give yourself attention, and that attention begins to be attracted to you. And so Venus is trine Pluto. And so this is a change for the better. This is more of a transformation in what you love, or love it. Like, say you love something and that thing is evolving or changing into something that you could even love more. Or if you're single, then that change in relationship status. There's a lot of changes in relationship statuses. People are breaking up, people are coming together based on truth, based on real love, and not based on obligation. And so if you're smart, you would want this, or even based on like minds, based on the ability to connect with each other and to do things together on the same level, as opposed to just doing the same thing that you've been doing. So when you clearing and you doing the work, then you're going to look at everything different. Your partner is going to look different. Your relationships is going to look different, like with your friends and sisters and brothers. And your job's going to look different. Everything is going to look different. And then what else is going to happen is that people are going to come to you in a spiritual way. And so when they do come to you in the spiritual way, you got to be able to handle it through clearing, as opposed to, like, you know, thinking that this person is trying to ruin your life. These people are trying to elevate you and rise you up. And just like Ellis Shiva, how we met was more or less on just some psychic, intuitive, just got into the psychic, like just was talking on past lives and all types of different stuff, and, you know, didn't know each other from Adam. So it's just important, these relationships that come in, they don't have to be sexual, but they're actually real, and you can actually feel the vibration based upon the work that you've been doing and the connections that you make. And so it's like the synchronicities that we have, and the way that we can relate to each other. And then once you find people that can relate to you on a spiritual level, you realize that there may be a lot of people just like you going through the same thing that you're going through. But if you are in a physical situation that you're not happy and comfortable with, then it's important to get out of that. And the way to get out of that is to realize how the fuck you got into that situation, and begin to clear the energy that got you into the situation, so you don't remain stuck in that situation. And we're beginning to rise. So with the tarot for today, I need all of the nice girls and all of the nice guys to come to the front of the class, and we're going to talk to you. Because I pull these cards at random, and I do them in sets of 3s. And then, like anything, when I do readings, astrology readings, tarot readings, I'll pull, and then I'll look for a pattern. And then from the pattern, I begin to craft my message. So this is how the cards felt this morning. We had the Prince of Cups, and we had the Queen of Cups. And so we know that we're discussing a particular archetype. And so I see nice guys at the top, And then I see nice girls at the bottom, or not nice girls, nice guys at the top, and caring girls at the bottom. Girls who care, girls who wear their heart in their sleeves and let their heart guide them through life. And so let's first talk to the nice guys. Nice guy, you have a purpose in life. You have somewhere to go. Do not sacrifice your purpose to make people happy and then lead up into a situation where you're unhappy and you're just simply validated by the fact that you're a nice guy. These situations have been occurring in your life far too often, and it's time for you to stop sacrificing and begin to focus on your purpose. Because once you reach that goal, once you get that purpose, then all of the things that you want, you will have, but you will not get the things that you want by sacrificing. You have to raise your energy, and through raising your energy, you find purpose, and through purpose, you find that focus. It is not through listening to people, sacrificing your time and energy to make people happy who cannot make themselves happy, nice guy. It's important for you to make yourself happy. So I hope that message was well received and it resonated, because it's time for you to begin to focus on what you do well. Be a master, be a magician. Take control of this energy and learn to sacrifice to self and not sacrifice to these human beings who don't know left from right either. And so the caring women who have their heart on their sleeves, who love first and ask questions later. If you have done this for your 20s and through your teens and through your 30s and 40s even, 50s even, you don't really see that at 50. By the time they get 50, they kind of smarten up and make better decisions. But if you experience trauma, pain, heartbreak in the past based upon you loving first and asking questions later, then you have to heal that shit. A new relationship, a new guy is not going to resonate with you on the right vibration that you truly desire. You have to clear yourself of that past and painful energy, because you may be in the midst of the perfect gentleman in this moment, but you too hurt to see it, you too hurt to feel it, you too hurt to experience it. So it's important to clear that energy. It's important to act upon your healing, as opposed to thinking that another relationship or thinking that the old relationship or that guy will get it together, get his mind right, and make things right with your heart. Because we're talking about evolution, we're talking about transcendence, and you can't get there because you're too focused on the pain. And then also, when dealing with men who have too much going on, or dealing with women who have too much going on, we're not here to judge. But you want that love, you want that attention, you want that focus. That's leading to that disappointment too. Learn to value yourself. Learn to value that you are worth the attention. You are worth the focus, but you're not going to get that shit until you begin to put that attention on yourself and the focus on yourself and the development that you wish to acquire for yourself. Okay. We have the external good. It's perfect. You look beautiful. Now let's begin to work on that heart that has been bleeding and empty, that needs to be filled, that's so distraught with disappointment. Let's begin to heal that, especially as we go into the solar eclipse. As we go to the solar eclipse and we want to plant seeds, maybe we want to plant seeds for love. If we want to plant seeds for love, if we want to plant seeds for success, let's clear all of the times that we sacrifice. Let's clear all of the hurt over this 2 weeks. And the easy way to do that is drink water and piss out the pain. Drink water and cleanse over these 2 weeks. Get rid of all of the disappointment. Get rid of all the times you sacrifice. Get rid of all of the hurt. Get rid of all of the pain. So when you sow for the solar eclipse, you're sowing not based upon pain and hurt and trauma. You're sowing based upon clarity and knowing what you want and knowing what you want out of life completely, because you give it to yourself. Whatever you give to yourself, then this is the standard that you put on other people who come into your life. So I hope that message resonated with both men and women this morning as we begin our day, and we are looking forward to a beautiful week and a, you know, solar eclipse. We're coming off a lunar eclipse and going into another solar eclipse, and what that may mean, and we realize that, you know, this energy it means something. If you went through this weekend and didn't experience anything, then, you know, that's amazing. But for me and my family, we definitely experienced some things, and it really did mean something. It really was an important event in our development, in our spirituality. And so what did it actually mean? It was the awakening of spiritual gifts. And it's also the twin flame soulmate activation that's been going on for different people at different times in different places. So this energy has been happening to me for the past 3 months. And so it's starting to ramp up for other people. So what I would say is to be clear and be open to these spiritual gifts that are coming in online, and do not, you know, be so focused on who you were. Be more focused on who you're becoming, and really put some energy and effort into your spiritual development. I really hope this message resonated with you this morning. I'm going to look at some comments and see what's going on with the people. It's been a while. But peace, everybody, man. How's y'all been? Oh yeah. Patreon.com/Hoodmystic if you want to donate to the channel. PayPal.me/TheHoodMystic if you want to donate to